So let's get started with today's webinar. Yeah. Okay. So let's quickly start our session with a webinar agenda. So this is the agenda for today's session. And in this webinar, we'll be discussing about uh, like what is the roadmap for a DevOps engineer in 2025. So why we should learn DevOps and what are the tools that are available in DevOps to learn and how can we land a high paying job in 2025. And also we'll look at the certifications that we can uh, clear for in DevOps roles, and also we will see the job roles that are in demand other than DevOps. Okay, so this is the overall agenda. Let me quickly open this pen tab. This. Yeah. Okay, so this is the overall agenda that we are going to discuss about. And first we will quickly start with the introduction. About IT Talent Hub, it's one of the largest IT community with over 1500 plus members. And also we are into market since last 10 plus years. And our office is located in Ilford, UK, which is near to Queen Elizabeth Lane. And we have dedicated teams who are working for training, networking, and recruitment. And also we have CV analysis and also job support sessions that we conduct as a part of this trainings. Now, other than that, we have worked with many clients. These are our clients, and these are our success stories where our students got placed in different companies. And why IT Talent Hub? So here, IT Talent Hub provides a training with trainers who have 10 plus years of experience, and whatever the curriculums that we have designed, this is as per the UK job market. And also in last month we have successfully placed 10 plus participants into the job roles, and we also have a dedicated recruitment team who is working in the back end to provide various services like CV analysis and job search, as well as the mock interviews and all this. And about me, I'm Janjirala Kiran Kumar, and I'm a subject matter expert. I'm working as a DevOps engineer and cloud solutions architect at IT Talent Hub. And I have over 11 plus years of experience, and these are my certifications which I hold. So certifications like AWS DevOps Engineer Professional, Solutions Architect Associate, and SysOps Administrator, Cloud Practitioner, and also Azure Fundamental Certification. Apart from that, I hold certifications like AWS Academy certifications like Cloud Architecting, Cloud Operations, and all. Overall, I'm a 4x AWS certified and 1x Azure certified, and I have provided trainings to more than 4,500 plus professionals. I deliver trainings online, offline, and these are the trainings that I have delivered, like DevOps Engineer Professional and all the open source tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Maven, Ansible, Terraform, and all. Apart from that, I have delivered trainings on AWS courses, official courses like Solutions Architect Associate, Cloud Practitioner, and Technical Essentials, and all. So this is about my introduction, and I'm happy to know about you. Like, will you please quickly introduce about yourself so that I could understand what is your background, whether you are from IT, non-IT, and why you are looking for a DevOps and cloud related job roles and all. Yes, Bhavya, I'm happy to know about you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been working as an IT professional from a long time, from more than 8 years now. So I have been through different things, but DevOps is just an uh, it's just always from the DevOps team, but I want to know how this works. And in that way, with the testing, if this is needed, I can also involve in the uh, DevOps things when we are in the project. So in that way, I want to correlate in the team. So I want to know about this DevOps. So yeah.
Okay, so do you have any exposure in DevOps earlier in your previous job roles?
Yeah. Jenkins, Maven, so GitHub, GitLab. So yeah.
Okay. So what about Kubernetes and Dockers?
I have Dockers, but not Kubernetes. But yeah, Dockers I just had a overview, but yeah, it is there in the project. But yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
I want to know more deeper how to uh, how we CI CD the
CI/CD
frameworks
pipelines and
using
how this actually work. Yeah,
the Dockers and all that. Yeah.
right. So yeah, got it. Right. So let's discuss in detail about that. So this is a roadmap of DevOps. Like in this roadmap, we will be discussing like what all tools are required, what a DevOps engineer actually do in our day-to-day life, and what are the job roles and responsibilities, how the UK job market is and all. So we will be focusing on these areas and let's see what is the eligibility for a DevOps engineer role. Okay, so anyone who is from either from IT or non-IT and fresh graduates and also students, IT professionals, software developers, and all these uh, professionals are eligible for a DevOps engineer role where they can excel by learning various DevOps tools here. Now we will try to understand why DevOps and what is DevOps first. Then we will get into the actual roadmap so that we will be knowing like what tools we have to learn and what areas we have to improve. So first thing we'll start with the DevOps software development lifecycle. Yes, Bhavya, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to know how this Dockers we can, how to implement our framework on the Dockers, and because after we, push the code into the GitHub or GitLab,
Okay.
how it can be in from the Dockers we can manage, because I think with only GitHub we can't. Uh, I don't know. There is something which I'm missing there. So I want to know the what are the.
So have you seen the CI/CD pipelines, complete CI/CD pipelines?
Yeah, I have seen. So
Okay,
but
okay.
somewhere I am missing something. I know that because uh, Docker's desktop I have downloaded, but when this framework is in the GitLab,
Okay.
uh, I need to add that YAML file in the GitLab, right? To put that framework integrate into that, so that we can what is that? We can run the at scheduled times. Yeah. So I want to
Right.
know that part. So that is what I'm missing. So yeah, it would be
Okay.
helpful if you can let me know that.
All right. So yeah, others also have joined. Let us quickly take their introduction. Yes, please, Shah and Olalkan. Can you please introduce yourself if possible? Hope I'm audible. Shah?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just joined. I've seen the link. Thought to join. What
Okay,
happened in
okay.
here? I don't know. This is my first session. I'm listening. What is going on here?
Right. So you can just introduce your name, location, and whatever experience that you have, if you can.
Uh, my name is Shah. Background is the IT.
Okay.
I was there in UK. Recently, I moved to India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your
Current role
previous
I'm in the
role?
market. Current role I'm in the market looking. I'm a cloud engineer. I could say. Initially I was a DBA. Then I've
Okay.
got chance to work on cloud side, Azure. Uh, got some experience on the not experience, some knowledge on AWS and DevOps. Want to
Okay.
explore DevOps. That's it.
Right. Right. Yep. Thank you. Got it. Uh, what about other person? Okay. Yep. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Ola. I
Okay.
live in Coventry.
Hmm.
I have basic IT knowledge in cloud computing.
Okay.
So yeah, I've done Azure
Hmm.
and what's it called? I've done Azure before, and I have the certification already for it. I'm just looking to go fully into it because I was unable to land a job with the certification I've got for almost a year now. So I'm thinking of just moving further.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
All right.
All right. So you're completely new to DevOps, right?
Yes, completely new.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yep. Thanks. So yeah, this was the slide that we were discussing. Like these all professionals are eligible for DevOps. So we can learn DevOps and all the tools, even if we are from non-IT backgrounds and even if we are not aware of any concept of DevOps. So in this, we'll be not in this particular webinar sessions, and whatever the courses that we deliver, we start from the scratch everybody. So let's try to understand why DevOps, because if you are from non-IT background and completely new to DevOps, and we will also discuss about what is DevOps and all. Then we will move ahead with what is the actual roadmap of learning all these tools one by one in a proper order. All right. So yeah, we'll quickly start with the SDLC process, and then we will move ahead why DevOps, and we'll discuss about other details. So yeah, may I know what is this SDLC if you are aware of? A quick discussion will help us in starting our concepts from basic.
Software development lifecycle.
Software development lifecycle. So what is the purpose of this software development lifecycle?
To develop a software,
Okay.
how we the approach, to be honest, I would say.
To develop any software, we generally go with SDLC model, right? So ultimately, we need a final product. We need a final product, that is application. So it could be any application. Okay, it can be e-com or it can be any type of application that we are targeting. So to develop this, we have certain approach. So what is that approach? What are the different stages that we come across, if you can?
Come again?
Different stages that are involved in SDLC process.
Say again? I missed.
I'm asking like, what are the different stages involved in SDLC process to develop and deploy a software application?
Yeah, from the information gathering, like low-level design, information gathering, low-level design, high-level design.
Okay,
Development,
requirements gathering,
design,
plan and document, design and
develop, test,
develop, whatever it may be. Develop,
test,
test, any other?
release,
Okay, can we say deploy?
deploy. Yeah,
Release is also okay. Deploy, operate,
operate, monitor.
monitor. So these are the different stages involved in developing and deploying any application. All right. Now, what are the different types of SDLC models? So if we talk about different types of SDLC models, one is waterfall, and second one is agile. Third one is like iterative, or we could say spiral, and any other that you remember. Okay, no problem. Right. So among these, waterfall and agile were very popular, and waterfall was a basic model that we used to follow earlier. So if I talk about waterfall and agile, can you tell me what was the difference, like why we switched from waterfall to agile, why agile is popular, and when agile is popular, why we are switching to DevOps? This is the thing that we are going to discuss. Anything about waterfall model? So why we used to use waterfall model, and is it suitable for today's dynamic applications?
Simultaneous development and simultaneous testing, I guess.
For waterfall?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah. What about Bhavya? I think you are already into these concepts.
No, sorry. Once we develop a small module, then we'll go for testing the waterfall.
Okay. So why we are switching from waterfall to agile and then agile to DevOps? This is the thing that we are going to discuss. Yeah, please.
In waterfall model, there is change request is not proceeded until one of the requirements should be completed, but agile we can have change request now and then, and the deliverables are very quick.
Okay. So it is a slow process. We can say this is the quick process.
Yeah.
Perfect. Any other that you notice?
More documentation, this one, less documentation, more communication with agile. And
Okay. So here we have good documentation. We can maintain good documentation, but here we have documentation, but it's keep on changing, right?
yeah,
So we can say no proper documentation here, and changes are possible, and we can say this is a linear approach, and this is a like incremental approach, right? So this was the difference overall, and to differentiate these two, actually this is not flexible for complex projects, because whatever the change that we want to make, let's say we worked for 1 year, okay, and we have released the product. We worked for 1 year and we release the product. Now at the end, the customer says that the product is not good, the product is not up to the mark, and customer don't like the features of the application. Now at that time, everything is gone, right? So here in case of waterfall model, we get the feedback, which is very important, only at the end of product, and here we get the feedback regularly. Okay, and here we are going to work in agile process, we work on sprints. May I know what is a sprint? Short durations, right? Short durations like 2 to 4 weeks are allocated for developing particular features. Let's say in an application there are 10 features. Out of 10 features, we work on 2 features first, then 2 features later, and we keep on increasing that number of features. So to give a best example for this one, Orkut application. Have you used Orkut? Have you ever used Orkut application? Yes, no?
No.
No. Okay. So before Facebook, Orkut application was released in the market and it's a product of Google. Okay, it's a product of Google. And they worked on waterfall model and there were no changes, no updates, no customer engagement and all. So customers used these applications for some time. Later on, because of no update, no change in the UI, and it's not dynamic, right? So what they have done, later on, Facebook came into picture. Facebook was developed based on agile process, and it was very, very dynamic in nature, where they initially released 2 features. For example, we can say text, images, image upload, and later on 3 features. They worked on like videos, video uploads, like and share. All these are features of Facebook. So even we can take an example of WhatsApp, right? So even WhatsApp, initially we don't have all the features at the time of first release. Later on, they are keeping on adding these features. So like this, waterfall and agile were differentiated. And from waterfall, which is non-dynamic, we switched to dynamic model, right? So agile is more flexible when compared to that of waterfall. Now tell me, what is your understanding about DevOps? Why DevOps and why companies are approaching towards DevOps? Why they are adopting this? Any reason for this as per your knowledge? Any idea like why DevOps?
As there is a continuous deliverable, so we need to update the framework. So every time we can't sit and keep on, like manually we can't do it as a
So you
person.
mean to say from manual to automation?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Any other
it
point?
can be because of the time constraints and all that and timestamp, where as people are in different locations, we use scheduled deliverables at different geographical areas. So yeah, in that way, DevOps can be used for scheduling, and so we are using CI/CD pipeline.
Okay.
And as that, we will be using the as AWS or Azure for independent platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So GCP, these are independent cloud platforms.
Yeah. So yeah,
Perfect.
that's my knowledge about it.
Right. So other than this, what DevOps can do is like one thing is it combines the 2 different teams and it improves the communication. Okay, this is the major thing. And also it improves collaboration between different teams like dev team and ops team. Earlier, these 2 teams used to work together and they were not sitting together, they were not properly communicating, and there were some silos in the different teams. So to overcome this kind of issues, DevOps is a new process which improves the existing agile process by improving collaboration and communication between different teams. And also we are using different automation tools to automate the process, where we are going to even build CI CD pipelines, right? By using this process, we are able to release our product and features within no time, like shorter time to market. Nowadays, everything is on cloud. So even cloud platforms are also making our job easy to maintain our workloads, right? So these are the reasons why DevOps came into picture. Now let's quickly go through the slides and see. So SDLC process is used to design, develop, test, and maintain the softwares. And our target is also to achieve a high quality software. And this is a like a roadmap. Okay, roadmap for developing any application. It's a structured phase with clear deliverables, and also it reduces the risk and improves project visibility. And these are the different stages that are involved in SDLC process. And we also have discussed about waterfall, agile, iterative, spiral, and later on now DevOps came into picture. And if we also have discussed about waterfall, like what are the different stages of waterfall, and it's a linear approach, and we have some limitations. These are the advantages, like well structured in waterfall, suitable for fixed requirements, and if there are any dynamic requirements, we are not going to use waterfall model. And there is a clear documentation and good for projects where quality is more important than speed. In this case, we go with waterfall. And in waterfall, we also have disadvantages, like it's rigid, it's inflexible, late stage testing, high risk, and slow delivery, right? And if I talk about agile model, it's a dynamic model where we work on multiple sprints, like sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. And we will divide the entire project features into different features, and we work on that and we release. That is nothing but agile model. And yeah, hope I'm back. Okay. So sprint planning, this was the thing that we are going to plan for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then we work on that particular feature and release. And these are the advantages of agile, like highly flexible, continuous feedback, faster delivery, and we can reduce the risk and all. Now these are the disadvantages. It is less structured because the things are keeps on changing, so we can't document each and everything, and we can't even predict the timelines and budget. So these are the disadvantages of agile process. Now if we compare the difference between waterfall and agile model, waterfall, it looks like this. It's like a carrying a big building block, and agile is very flexible. We can work on the multiple features of an application, and we can develop and release it easily, right? So this is the difference between waterfall, agile, and DevOps. In waterfall, actually it takes a lot of time for writing the code, and once we write the code for entire all the features of application, then we go for testing, and then we go for deploy. And if I talk about agile, agile made our job easy as we are working on sprints, like few features of the application. Then we can easily design, code, test, and deploy. Code, test, and deploy, code, test, and deploy, code, test, and deploy for multiple features. So here in case of agile, we get a quicker feedback. And in case of DevOps, again, it even increased the short time to market. So we are able to work in very faster pace in developing and deploying our application. So this is the reason why DevOps was popular and why we are using DevOps when we have waterfall and agile process. Now, if I talk about specifically about DevOps, DevOps is not completely a new technology. It's just a practice, right? It's just a process, or we can say it's a process and principles that were improved from existing agile methodology, right? Agile is a very popular model, and we can say DevOps is an extension to agile process. Now, where we focus more on improved process, improved practices, and also automation and everything. So in DevOps, we come across few principles like CALMS. C for culture, where we focus on culture. This is important. And also we are going to use automation tools there are many automation tools that we use in DevOps. We will be discussing about what are the different types of tools that we use in DevOps process. And L for lean. Lean is nothing but instead of wasting time on manual task, we can make use of that time in uh, working on new features and engaging the customers continuously. And M for measure, right? So everything we have to measure in the production environment so that we can easily troubleshoot and we can easily fix the bugs as earliest as possible. And S is nothing but sharing. So sharing is nothing but where we have to share our knowledge with all the team members so that we can safeguard our applications from downtimes. So these are the different principles of DevOps that we generally follow. So why we are following DevOps? Because we want faster delivery and we want reliable and resilient architectures, and we need scalability, and we also are going to use automation because we are working across different time zones as Bhavya mentioned. So we will just use the automation task by using some shell scripts or some kind of automation tools like Ansible, Terraform and all, where it is going to automatically take care of updates and everything. And also improved collaboration between teams, and we are able to reduce 30% of cost in development and deployment process, right? So this is why we are switching to DevOps. Now, if we look at why DevOps is booming in 2025, this is the question. Now, if I talk about the trends that are in the market, like because of rapid cloud adoption, nowadays everything is moved from on-premise to cloud. Of course, we have some workloads on on-premises as well, but we are moving to cloud like AWS, Azure platform, or we also have GCP, right? And we are also following automation. We are also using AI tools and security, compliance, and also Kubernetes containerization. And we also have some remote work options, agile operations, high demand DevOps skills. So nowadays in 2025, there are many openings in the market. Where we can easily search for job market in various parts of the world. Let me show you that. If I go to Google and search for DevOps jobs in UK, DevOps job market in UK. So where we find many openings, or else we will DevOps job 2025. So we can see there are many openings that are available in the market. So even in Google, we find hundreds and thousands of openings here. So we can also see what are the skills they are looking for. So as a DevOps engineer, these are our key responsibilities. We collaborate with different teams. We build, we maintain infrastructure solutions, and also we manage cloud and on-premise environments if we are still using hybrid environments for smooth operations. And also we support our day-to-day platform operations and resolve the issues promptly. And also we focus on schedule out of hours production support, right? So even when we are not in the uh, office hours, still we can run our workloads by using automation tools. Now, if I look at this essential skills and experience that they are looking for, so they are asking for hands-on experience with any of the cloud platform like AWS and Azure, or we have even GCP and Oracle as well as IBM cloud in the market, but most popular are AWS. And knowledge of on-premise cloud or VMware They are looking for Docker, Kubernetes, and also Jenkins, GitLab, Python, Go, or Bash. Bash scripting is very important to learn. Other than that, we can also go with the Python and Linux operating system. And they are also looking for Windows Server. I think they in their workloads they also include Windows servers and concepts of networking. All these are the important and required skills for a DevOps engineer. Other than that, we also have many monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana, and ELK stack and all, where we are going to use the tools for uh, monitoring our resources. So this is about the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, and we can also search for other, and we can see what they are actually looking for. So in this different job, they are looking for RDS, which is from AWS Cloud, CloudWatch, Elasticcache, as well as IAM, Lambda, VPC, S3, Route 53, and all. Other than that, they are looking for Terraform and also AWS CLI, Bash, CI/CD pipelines, Jenkins, and all this. So these are the skills that are required and in demand for a DevOps engineer in the market, right? So these all are same. So there are plenty of openings available in the market, and we can apply for the jobs and we can crack the jobs when we are like properly into DevOps tools and practical experiences. So these are the important DevOps in demand roles. So we can go for a DevOps engineer role like entry level, mid level, or senior level. And after that, we can enter into a SRE role, site reliability engineer role, where as a site reliability engineer, we focus more on maintenance and monitoring of our existing reliable systems. And we also come across the platform engineer and also cloud engineers. So these are the in-demand roles in 2025. All right. So any queries or any questions that you want to ask me as of now?
No, nothing.
Right. Now, if we look at the global DevOps job market, we can see here, as per this update, we can say that a DevOps market is projected to grow to $30 billion by 2028. And among that, most popular continent is like in Europe, we have 32% of requirement, right? Overall, the world. And remaining, we can see 2% in Africa, Middle East, and other regions we can see here. So US has a demand of 29% increase in the demand of 29% by 2028. So DevOps engineer roles are very trending in the market, and this will definitely help us in landing a high paying job when we have skills and knowledge in that. These are the expected salaries. So these are the figures taken from the Google. So we can even directly search for this. What are the existing salaries for a DevOps engineer? So on an average, we can see uh, it could be between 52,000 to 64,900, and even DevOps engineers are earning more than this as per few articles. Yeah, 64,000 GBP per year. These are the average salaries. And salary ranges for a DevOps engineer in UK, we can see leads are earning this range and others are also earning in different companies. So these are the salary ranges, and we can get a good package when we go with the experience, right? And if we look at the like organizations that they are looking for DevOps engineer are like finance, tech industry, as well as healthcare industries, and growth of cloud and DevOps job market mainly based on AWS, Azure, Kubernetes, GitOps, and AI ML Ops. So these are the trending skills that we have to focus on to get into DevOps roles. So here, if we look at the AWS and Azure, so not only AWS Azure, we also have GCP, where we can upskill ourselves on AWS DevOps engineer role. Okay, so in this AWS DevOps engineer role, everything is the proprietary of AWS. So we can become a AWS based DevOps engineer, or we can become a Azure DevOps engineer. We can also become a GCP based engineer, or else we can even go with the open source tools like Kubernetes and GitOps and other different types of open source tools that are available in the market. So as a DevOps engineer, we are responsible for automating the deployments and infrastructure. So earlier there were two different teams like dev team and ops team. All right. So dev team's responsibility is to write the code, and also build it, and then test the code. Once everything is ready, then pass this artifact to the ops team so that they are going to create the infrastructure. Okay, ops team is going to create the infrastructure, and also they are going to deploy into the production environment. They are going to monitor. Right now, what happened when these two teams are different, when they are working in a different locations and they are communicating orally, well, like over emails. Now what happened, there are many miscommunications. Okay, dev team told them to deploy version 2 of application, but because of miscommunication they have deployed version 1, so that there is a down in the production. So these were the some of the issues that we faced earlier. Now when DevOps engineer came into picture, we started creating the pipeline. Okay, we'll see what is a pipeline actually. And by using this CI/CD pipelines, we are able to deploy the infrastructure and maintain the infrastructure by using this CI/CD pipelines, by using various tools. So as a DevOps engineer, our responsibility is to take care of deployment process as well as the infrastructure creation and maintenance. And we also create CI/CD pipelines like end-to-end CI/CD pipeline, where we'll be integrating all the tools and ensuring all the tools that are working fine or not. And also we take care of security. We will also include security in our DevOps pipeline. Have you heard about DevSecOps? Have you heard about DevSecOps? Yes, Bhavya and Kola.
No, I did not.
Okay. Right. So we have just combined these two teams together to form a DevOps. And apart from that, we are focusing more on security as well. So this will increase security in our CI/CD pipelines. So now in 2025, we are also hearing this buzz word, that is DevSecOps, where we have integrated security as well. So here, as a part of our CI/CD pipelines, we'll be including security tools for performing code analysis as well as scanning our Docker images and all. And also we ensure compliance. And as a DevOps engineer, we also take care of reliability and performance monitoring, how our applications are performing, whether they are performing fine or not. We also troubleshoot and fix if there are any issues by running some automation scripts. And also we will take care of, yeah, these are same. Okay, so these are the roles and responsibilities and salaries and job market in 2025. Hope we are clear till now. Any questions to ask before going to DevOps engineer skills and tools required? Shall we go ahead?
I'm fine. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the skill set that is required for a DevOps engineer, and also what are the trending tools in the market in 2025. So what actually we need to learn to become a successful DevOps engineer and land our job. So this is the actual roadmap for a DevOps engineer. Okay. So if we want to become a DevOps engineer, you can even take the screenshot of this one if required. Initially, a DevOps engineer is going to start learning about Linux. If you have already worked in IT field, I think you are already aware of Linux operating system. All right. And if I talk about source code management, I think Bhavya already have worked on this GitHub and all, right? Am I correct, Bhavya? Okay. So apart from this, we also must be knowing about CI/CD tools, like what tools are available in the market and what tools are trending and what tools will help us in building our CI/CD pipelines in a more flexible way. And also we will discuss about scanning tools like Trivi as well as SonarQube, which are used for scanning our code and images. And also we will learn on IAC, infrastructure as a code tool, like Ansible and Terraform. And also as a part of this journey, we also focus on scripting as well, like we will be learning about shell scripting or Python scripting. And also we will focus on containers like Docker, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a container orchestration platform which is used to manage hundreds and thousands of containers in the production workloads. And also we will focus on monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana, which are used to uh, manage our workloads in the production environment. And also we build beautiful dashboards to see how our production workloads are actually working, and we will see the performance of that. And also it is required to learn any one cloud platform, either AWS, GCP, Azure, or any other platform, but most trending to cloud platforms are AWS and Azure, and third one is GCP. So this is the overall roadmap to become a DevOps engineer in 2025, and these are the tools that are trending in the market, and we have to focus more on these to learn and become a DevOps engineer. And this is the list, like where we need to focus on GitHub, Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, and Prometheus ELK stack. And these are that training tools in the market. Now let's get started with every tool. We'll quickly start with the operating system that we need to focus more on. So as a DevOps engineer, it's a backbone for every DevOps engineer. We must be aware of Linux operating system. I think we all have used Windows operating system and Mac in our day-to-day life, right? But if we are not from IT background, or if we are new to IT, then of course Linux will be new to us. So we must be focusing more on Linux, because it's a backbone of DevOps, where we work on various Linux commands. Okay, where we work on various Linux commands for file management, for permissions, for networking, for package management, and many more. And apart from that, we also execute the scripts, right? Either it can be a shell script. We will focus more on shell scripting. So shell scripting is nothing but it's a script written to automate a task. So we have a dedicated slide for this. As a engineer, we write the scripts and we will automate our scripts in our production workloads or whatever it may be, even on dev, test, or staging environments, right? So we work on file systems, we work on processes, we work on networking, permissions, and all. So shell scripting is very, very important as a DevOps engineer to focus on. Next one is source code management. Source code management is a tool that we are going to learn to how to manage our code, right? There are different developers who are writing the code, right? Developer 1, 2, 3, and all these developers, as they are a team members of same team, they have to integrate their code. They have to save their code in a particular repository. So this kind of servers will be there, where we can say GitHub or Bitbucket, whatever it may be. So this is a central place where we are going to store our code centrally, and we are going to collaborate with our team members, and further we push that code for production environments, right? So in this source code management, we will be learning about Git and GitHub as a part of our DevOps courses. We'll be learning this. Apart from that, we also have GitLab, we also have Bitbucket in the market to use. And in source code management, we also come across a term called branching and merging. So branches are different types of like development lines in which we work in a isolation manner. Like we have test branch, we have main branch, that is production branch, and also we work on feature branch. Like this, we have different branches where we are not going to disturb the main branch, but we work on different branches with the same code, right? This is about source code management and the tools that we generally focus on. And also we will focus on CI/CD. So may I know what is the full form of CI and what is the full form of CD? If you have any idea, yeah, please go ahead.
Continuous integration, continuous delivery.
Continuous integration and continuous delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are two terms, right? Continuous deployment is there, continuous delivery is there.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, we'll be discussing about that. Hope you have some idea. So continuous integration. So this is the pipeline which is going to look like. So as a developer, we actually write the code. Okay. We push that code in a central repository like GitHub is there, or Bitbucket, whatever it may be. So central platform where we integrate the code. Developer 2 is also going to push the code. Developer 3 is also going to push the code. And this is our central repository. From there, actual trigger is triggered from GitHub. Whenever there is a change in the code, GitHub is going to trigger an update to Jenkins. Jenkins will pick up that update and it builds and it tests. Okay, it is also going to test the code. Then it also generate result and it passes the result back to the developer. Okay, this process is called CI. Now further, CD is nothing but it's a continuation to CI process. It's an extension to CI. Further, once the build and test are done, it is going to be pushed to the Docker, so that we build a Docker image and we push the image to the Docker hub where we store our images, Docker hub Docker images, and from this we use the Docker image to deploy that application into the target environment, that is Kubernetes, right? So this is how a general flow of pipeline look like. Okay, so in this way we actually build CI/CD pipelines and we automate the process, everything. Let's say developer have modified something. Instead of there is like, let's say this is the code written by the developer and pushed to the GitHub, and from GitHub it pushed to Jenkins, and Docker image is created and pushed in the target environment. Let's say end user is accessing our application. Now developer has made some changes. Instead of ABC, developer changed it to XYZ in the code. There is a change in the code. Now when it is pushed to GitHub central repository, as soon as the developer pushed the code from the local machine to the GitHub, immediately it's going to reflect the change here. So as an end user, we can observe that change. Earlier it was ABC in the application output. Now it changed to XYZ, right? This is a new update. So this is how a pipeline is completely triggered in an automated fashion. Okay, now we come across the terms called continuous integration, continuous deployment, or we also have continuous delivery. Now we will see the difference between continuous deployment and delivery in the next slide. In CI/CD, we come across the tools called Jenkins. We can either learn Jenkins or GitHub Actions or GitLab. So these are the trending tools in the market to work with CI/CD and build the pipelines. Okay, as a part of CI/CD pipeline, we also automate everything like testing and delivery process. Okay, and this is the flow of Jenkins pipeline. It starts with development, and second stage is building. Third one is testing. Once testing is done, we go ahead with further CD process. That is like further we do many integration testings and code scannings or Docker image scannings and many things. And ultimately we are going to deploy our target application into the production environment. This is how a general CI/CD flow look like. Now, if I talk about continuous delivery and deployment, so this is the difference. Can you see these two images and tell me like what is the difference between continuous delivery and deployment process? This is continuous delivery and this is deployment. Can you tell me the difference between these two pipelines?
One is manually approach and another one is automated. The deployment is automated.
Okay. So by looking at this, we can say that there is a stage where manual approval is required, where automation of approvals are included here, right? So continuous delivery is a pipeline which is used for live environments, that to production live environments. And deployment is a pipeline which is used for internal purpose, like development stage or testing stage, okay, and staging. So this kind of environments, we go with a deployment process where automatic approval is not required. But in case of live production environment, where our entire application is going to be live and all the end users, like millions of users are using our application, right? So if we do any mistake in the production environment, that will completely disturb our application, right? So always we have to be more careful when we are releasing any feature or any update in the live production environment. So here in this case, we come across multiple approvals, like a release manager is there, and also security team who is going to check for vulnerability, and they also will be approving based on the security check, right? And also different teams who are working like uh, testing team. Once it passes every test, then they are going to approve it, right? So like this, there are multiple different stages are there where the manual approval is required. And in case of internal uh, purpose like internal dev test or staging environments, so in that case we are not going to go with a continuous deployment delivery pipeline. We generally go with the continuous deployment pipelines. Now, as a part of this CI/CD pipeline, we also include some tools called security tools, right? Just now we discussed about DevSecOps, right? DevSecOps, where security is also integrated because security is the highest priority. Security is the highest priority. So as a part of this pipeline, we also include tools called SonarQube and also Trivi. And other than this, we also have many different testings and other tools as well. SonarQube is one such tool which is going to do the static code analysis, and it's also going to check for vulnerability and international standards of the code. And where Trivi is one tool that is going to scan the Docker images and it's going to take care of the built images, right? Yes, Bhavya, any questions from your side? Hope no.
When the code is in the Jenkins and it comes to Docker,
Okay.
so so the code is in the form of an image.
To Docker. So before entering to Docker, it will be an artifact.
Okay.
It's nothing but an executable file. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we use that executable file. Actually, we write a Docker file where we give proper instructions to build a Docker image.
Mm-hmm.
So where we write proper instructions to build a Docker image. Once the Docker image is created, then we push that Docker image to the Docker Hub. From Docker Hub, we again pull that image to further scanning and deploying that into the target environment.
Target environment is like a cloud or wherever the
Anything
production
it
is.
can be. We can go with the open source Kubernetes, or we can go with the Azure or AKS. We can even go with the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service in AWS. So we have many platforms, target platforms. It depends on the company to company, like what kind of platform they are looking for, what workloads they are actually working on. So it depends on the company. They are going to choose this. Either they want to go with a open source platform, or they want to go with AWS platform, or they want to go with Azure, GCP, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. But can we do this in our normal desktop? All these Dockers and
Yes, of course, we can install Kubernetes and we can run our pipeline to deploy this.
okay, because
Yeah.
we need space and all that, isn't it? That's the main.
Yes, we can even do that, but generally as a part of our course, labs and all, we go with the AWS platform where first we will learn about AWS, like what is AWS, what is global infrastructure, what are the different types of services that are available. Then we will go ahead and run this pipeline and all the resources in AWS platform. Not AWS specific DevOps, but even we can use these open source tools in AWS by using instances like EC2 instance and all.
Okay.
EC2 servers,
Okay.
right? So we adopt this AWS platform to run this entire pipeline, and we use all the open source tools as a part of our course and labs,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So next comes Terraform. It's very powerful tool. So whatever the tools that we are discussing here, all are open source tools. They are free to use, and these are very popular in the market. And other than that, we also have AWS specific tool like CloudFormation, and Azure specific tools like um, ARM templates, and we also have GCP specific tools for automation purpose. But Terraform is one such tool which can be used to create the infrastructure in any platform. Very powerful tool. Okay, so that's the reason companies will definitely ask for Terraform. They look for Terraform in your resume, right? So using Terraform, we can create the resource either in Azure, either in GCP, either in AWS, or any platform. We can take like Kubernetes or any platform. So you can create the infrastructure in any of the platform. It's like a one-stop solution for creating infrastructure. But what if you learn any AWS specific tool like CloudFormation tool? So if you learn CloudFormation tool is only allowed to use in AWS. If you are trying to use it in Azure, you can't do this. By using CloudFormation, if you are trying to create the infrastructure in Azure or GCP, no, that is not possible. CloudFormation is a AWS specific tool. ARM templates, these are specific tools of Azure. But what if you learn Terraform? Terraform can be used in any platform. That's the power of Terraform. We have also planned a demo on this. I'll show you how this is going to actually work. We will quickly finish off these tools and we'll see that demo. All right. Ansible, again, it's again a open source and free tool which is used for automating the task, right? So let's say there are 1,000 servers. There are 1,000 servers here, and as an administrator, as an admin, how many servers you can, like, you want to update some file, okay, sudo apt update. You want to update the server. All these are Linux servers. Let's say few are Windows. This is also Windows server. This is Linux server. This is also Linux. This is also Linux. There are 3 Linux servers and 2 Windows servers. Like this, there are hundreds of servers that a administrator has to manage. Now all the servers need an update. How a single admin can do all this? Let's say there are thousands of servers. Is this possible to do it manually? Of course, the answer is no. So manually, if you are trying to SSH into all of these servers one by one and update this server, then what happens? It's a time consumption process. There can be a manual error, right? So by using this manual process, we can even do a mistake if we want to update some files, or if you want to install some uh, programs or something. At that time, we might do mistake, right? It's a time consumption, it's a time taking process, and it's a tedious task for us. For example, if an admin is not available at that and we are going with a manual process, again, our timely process is again delayed. So in this case, what we can do is we can simply go ahead with a tool called Ansible. Ansible is one such powerful tool in the market which by which we can automate the things. Like if you want to install Python on 1,000 servers, you can easily do it with a simple script. We will simply write one script here. We will execute this script and your task is done. Right? If you want to create one file on 1,000 servers at a time, how can we do this? Simply we will write Ansible playbooks and we will execute that Ansible playbook so that we can create that file on thousands of servers at a time. And also Ansible can be worked with on-premise, also with any of the cloud platform. This is the power of Ansible. It makes our job easy, and especially repetitive task. Especially repetitive task. Let's say admin is tasked with collecting logs. So his task is to collect the logs at every day 7 a.m. Every day 7 a.m. admin has to collect the logs. Then how can we do this? We can create some kind of Ansible playbooks and we can execute, or we can automate the process so that we can collect the logs there, right? And shell scripting, very, 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 very important as a DevOps engineer. Scripting plays a prominent role, right? So either we can go with a bash, or we can go with a Python script, or any type of script here, right? Here in scripting, we come across looping, conditions and functions, many more concepts that we will discuss in the actual course. So now we can't cover all this, right? So using this shell scripting, it makes our job easy. In our demo also, I have planned this, like I want to install Docker on a particular machine. So without executing a single command. So as an admin, what we'll do, we'll go with a command like sudo apt update for updating or upgrading. This is first command, this is second command, this is third command, this is fourth command. Like this, we can't execute 100 commands at a time. So instead of executing 100 commands at a time, we simply put all of the commands in a script. One is like update, second one is to install something, third one is to install another, fourth one is to install some dependencies and all. Simply go ahead and execute this script. Your task is done. This is the power of scripting. Scripting is also very, very important. As a DevOps engineer, it is very important for us to learn a scripting language, right? Either we can go with Bash or we can go with Python or all this. So before going to Docker and Kubernetes, I think let's quickly go with the demo part, right? Shall we go with the demo?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Okay, so you can even react using this reactions. Okay. Right. So let me take you to the where I log into AWS. I already have logged into my AWS account. I'm using AWS here, and we will see how we can automate things. Now I'm launching one virtual machine in the cloud. Okay. I am just giving some name, demo, VM. You can give any name. I am just going with Ubuntu operating system. You can choose any operating system. There are plenty of options available here. You can go with Red Hat, you can go with Windows, you can go with Mac operating system, Amazon Linux, and many more. And key pair is required. So here I'll quickly launch the server. Okay. So if we discuss each and every point, then it will take a lot of time, right? So I'm just attaching a key pair, and also I'm selecting one security group. Okay. And this is my server. I'm clicking on launch server. This is going to launch a server for me in AWS cloud. This we call it as a EC2 instance, right? Now I'm using this public IP, and I'll just SSH into the machine using a tool called MobiXterm. MobiXterm is one such tool where we can connect with my machine. Now I'm going to update the public IP here, and also I'm going to select the key pair. Key pair is very, very important to connect to a server, right? Now by this, I'm able to connect to my server. Now this is the server. I'm into the server now, right? Okay, so this is my server in AWS. It took just 1 or 2 minutes of time to launch this server. This is the power of cloud platform where we can manage each and everything in the cloud. So in 1 or 2 minutes, I'm able to launch the server, and I'm able to quickly connect to the server. You can even cross check the IP address. This is the private IP address, which is ending with 83.94 here, 83.94 here. This is the private IP, and we got connected to the machine. Now let me quickly go with the quick guide that we have. Okay. So I'm just going with a quick guide so that we can quickly execute our task. This is the guide for our roadmap that I have created, and I'm going to execute these commands one by one. Okay, I just have named it, renamed it, and I'm going to update the server first. Sudo apt update by using apt package manager, and this is first updating the server. Whenever we launch any server, first we'll try to update all the packages. Once this is done, then we will quickly go ahead with installing wget and unzip. These are required for wget is used for downloading something using URL, and unzip is used to unzip any zipped file. So we have quickly installed these two, right? And we will also install Terraform. Okay, so Terraform, we have downloaded this zip file from the official website of Terraform. So if you go to terraform.io, from there we can download this Terraform zip file, and we will unzip this file using this Linux commands. All these which I'm executing here are Linux commands, and I have unzipped this. If I do ls, this is the file that I have downloaded, and I unzipped this. So this is the unzipped directory. Now let's quickly move this to the user bin location so that we can work with Terraform. Okay, now quickly move that, and now remove this zip file which is not required now, and we will check the Terraform version. Now if I type Terraform here, you can see I'm able to see all the Terraform commands. Right now, Terraform is ready. We have successfully installed Terraform onto this particular server, and we will see how to automate the creation of infrastructure. Right now, we will install the dependencies. Now I'm going to create the infrastructure in AWS. So AWS, to work with AWS, we need some dependencies that are to be installed. So I am installing dependencies now. To work with AWS commands, we have to install this. It's going to check for all the dependencies, and it's going to download the required dependencies for AWS platform. Right, once this is done, now let's go ahead and install AWS CLI. Now what is this AWS CLI? Now if I want to create infrastructure in AWS platform or any platform, we need this CLI tools that need to be installed on our machine. So I'm installing AWS CLI. If I want to execute, or if I want to check what are the buckets that are created in AWS, I have to use AWS commands here. So for that, I have installed AWS CLI. And at the end, we need to provide user credentials for authentication purpose. Now, what is the purpose of authentication? AWS will not directly allow any user to create the infrastructure. Let's say I'm the user here. I'm using, this is my EC2 server. Okay, I have installed Terraform, and I have installed AWS CLI here, and all these are available now. Now, if I try to directly create 3 EC2 instances in the cloud, will it directly allow me? The answer is no. AWS is very, very secured, and we can't directly create the infrastructure into the platform, and there is no connection as well. Now for this, what I have to do? I have to provide credentials. I have to provide the credentials. Which user credentials? IAM user credentials. Who is an IAM user? IAM user is a type of user which we create in AWS cloud platform. Okay, now I'm going to provide AWS IAM user credential so that AWS will allow me to create the infrastructure by this credential. Now let me quickly go to my credentials and quickly copy paste these credentials. So this we call it as access key and secret access key. These are credentials. I'm going to deactivate once this is done. Now I have provided the credentials. Now I'm trying to check whether I got access or not. I'll run few commands. AWS S3 ls. This is one command by using which I can check whether I got the access to AWS or not. Now AWS S3 ls. This is the command used to check the S3 buckets that are created in AWS. In my account, there are no S3 buckets, so the command got executed, but no buckets are listed here. I'll execute one more command, AWS IAM list users. Now this is going to list the users in my AWS account. So by this I can say that I got access to AWS, right? So this is successful. I got access. Now by using Terraform, I'm going to create 3 EC2 instances in cloud. Okay, now let's proceed with automation of creation of resources. All right, now for this, I'll quickly create a directory and I'll create one file. So this file, we call it as a Terraform configuration file, right? So using this Terraform configuration file, we say that this is the configuration code which we can get it directly from the Terraform website. Okay, let me quickly show you in order to remove the confusion. Let me take to the terraform.io. terraform.io website. This is the official website maintained by HashiCorp. And here we can go to providers and we will go to AWS and we have documentation here and we can search for EC2. I want to create a EC2 server. So let's go to EC2 and here you can search for AWS instance and this is that code. Okay, so this is the sample code. So from the official website, we can easily pick up this code and we can paste that in our text editors like this. Okay, this is that code. So same thing, I have written the code like this and I'm using it. So this is that same code which I have picked from the official website. And I'm saying that I want to create one EC2 instance and the total number of instances I want to create are 3. I want to go with t2.micro instance and this is the AMI ID. Always we have to check this AMI ID. Sometimes if it is not matching, then again it's not going to be created. So I hope I have copied the proper AMI ID. I'm just copying, saving this file. Now if I do ls, you can see this is the file that I have created, Terraform configuration file. Now by using this configuration file, I'll create 3 instances in AWS. Okay. Now let me quickly, go to the guide. Right. Now these are the commands, Terraform commands, which I'm executing. Terraform init is one such command which is going to initialize the local repository and it's going to create the directory and also it's going to download the plugins that are required for creating an infrastructure and managing it. Now this is successful. Then we will go with a Terraform format. Okay, it's going to check the format of this configuration file. If there is any error, it's going to quickly set the format and we are going to validate the file. So validation, it is going to check the key value. So in the file, we have written the code in a key value format. So this validate command is going to check for the keys and values, right? And we are going to see the plan. This plan is going to show the output that what resources are going to be created. Now in our configuration file, I mentioned I want to create 3 EC2 instances. Now this is the plan. Okay, before applying any changes, we just go ahead with the plan. We will check this plan properly, like what actually we are going to create here. And this is instance 1 and this is instance 2 and this is instance 3. So we are going to create total 3 EC2 instances and you can see the count as 3. We are not changing anything, we are not destroying anything, but we are creating new resources in the cloud. Now once we are okay with the plan, then what we do, we go ahead and apply the changes. Now Terraform apply is a command which is used to apply the actual changes and create the infrastructure in the target platform. It's asking me for the confirmation. I said yes, I am okay with the plan. Go ahead and create the infrastructure. Now let me take you back to this console. Now as of now we have only one instance. As soon as I refresh this, now it's going to show that 3 more instances with the name EC2 1, 2 and 3. So earlier this instance was there. Now I'm able to create 3 instances, right? So this is how we automate the creation of infrastructure. In the same way, we write the configuration file for a production environment or dev environment, test environment. And by using this configuration file, as a engineer, we automate the execution of the file so that entire production environment is ready within minutes or sometimes even seconds. Now you can see within seconds, these 3 instances got created within no time, right? This is the power of Terraform. If I want to create the resources in AWS, yeah, I can create it. I want to create the resources in GCP, I can create it. Any platform, Terraform is common, right? And in AWS, we have CloudFormation service. We can CloudFormation. This is that service. Using this CloudFormation, you cannot create the infrastructure in Azure. You cannot create the infrastructure in GCP and all. But by using Terraform, you can do that, right? Now let's say 3 instances got created. Now I'll open the file. I'll do ls. I'll do ls and vi example, and instead of 3, I'll just make it 5 and see what happens. I'm just modifying this configuration file. Okay, I made it 5. And now let's go ahead and apply and see what's going to happen now. Any guess what is going to happen now? Instead of 3, I made it 5. Yes, hope you're following the session.
It needs authentication, right? So
No authentication because we have already provided the credentials, right, earlier. So it's going to add in the plan. You can see it's going to add 2 more instances because earlier we created 3 instances and Terraform analyzed it properly and identified that 3 instances are already available. Now we have to add 2 more instances, that is shown here, and 0 change, 0 destroy. Okay, now I'll say yes. I'll give the confirmation here, and it's going to take care of the creation of infrastructure as per the configuration file. Now if I refresh, now you can see how many instances are there. Total 5, right? So this is the power of Terraform. So entire production workloads we can create with simple configuration file. Now what are the benefits if we write the configuration file and execute? Now when we write the file, when we write the configuration file, right? So you can save it anywhere. You can share it with thousands of users like teammates and all. You can easily edit it, edit the information. Okay. And next one is it's no human errors, right? When we manually do this, right? When we manually do this, there might be a human error like misconfiguration. But even if you are doing it for a production environment, it will exactly create the infrastructure whatever is provided in the script. No mistake like a human. So no human errors. We can edit the file easily. Just now I have shown I made it from 3 to 5. Simply it executed and added 2 instances in the cloud. If I make it 20, it will create 20 instances. If I make it 100, it will create 100 instances. So like this, it's very, very easy and flexible to work with. At the end, you can see apply complete, resources added are 2, 0 are changed, 0 are destroyed.
So
right?
for only the first instance to create only, we need the security and authentication and everything.
Yes, so that instance, this is the user, and here we call it as a base server. Or we can say control server. See, as an employee, we need one laptop, right? To work with any operating system or any production environment or whatever it may be. Now we need this base server. We can say control server. So this is same like a laptop that we are using for our office job, right? Or for our daily IT operations. So this is AWS cloud. This is Azure. This is GCP. Okay. Now where we are installing Terraform? On our base machine. Whatever you want install on your base machine. Here everything has to be there. And to create anything, you just need authentication. That's it. everything you work from here only, right? This is called as a base server, and these are our infrastructure that is created. Hope this is clear to you. Can I get a confirmation or any follow-up questions? Right. Okay, so this is how we generally do. And also we can see a simple script to install Docker. Okay, I'll be using the same machine. Quickly, let's go through this and see. And after this, we will discuss about other tools. Yep. Okay. Now I want to install Docker on this machine. Generally, how we install? We'll go to Docker website. From there, we have some Docker commands. We will copy paste it and we will execute one by one. Now here, I'll execute a shell script. Okay, same like Terraform. I'll, as a user, I have this machine. We can say this might be a laptop or this might be a EC2 instance that we are using now. Here, I'll write a script called shell script. Okay, using Linux, we will write the code here. We will add all the code here and we will execute this script so that it installs Docker onto the machine. This is what I'm looking for. I want to install the same on 100 machines. I can do it. Now we are just looking this demo for a single machine. So I'm creating a file. This is the shell script that I'm going to use. So shebang line followed by the Docker container creation commands. I just have created. Let me list it. Cat and install Docker. Right. Now let me give the permissions to execute, and I'm executing the script now. You can see by executing this script, it's going to install Docker and all its dependencies onto this machine so that I can easily create containers and work with the application. Now, once I install, I'll also install one web application and we will see the output of that. Nginx server and output of that. Right, we are installing Docker now. So we installed Docker onto this. Now we have to go ahead with checking the version of the Docker. Now you can see Docker is successfully installed using a shell script, and this is the version of it. And we will add the existing user to the Docker group so that we don't face any permission issues. And we will quickly update this. Now Docker images, you can see we are able to work with Docker now. It is showing the result. Now I'll pull one Docker image, Docker pull hello world, or we can say Docker pull Alpine. Now that Alpine image is not locally available, right? It says that it's not available locally, so we are going to download from the Docker Hub platform. Now, if I execute Docker images, you can see that image is now downloaded to my local machine. That is EC2 instance where I have installed Docker. Now let's see how to create a Docker container. This is the command used to create a Docker container, right? Here I'm going to install Nginx onto this server using Alpine image, and we'll see the output. Okay. Here I'm also doing the port mapping like 8080 is connected to the 8080 port. Now I'll create the container. It's creating a container. See how fast it is. Docker containers are very light in nature. We can create the containers within seconds. This is the power of open source tools and DevOps, right? And Docker ps-a, it's going to list the containers. Okay, just now we have created a container by using nginx and alpine. Now this is already mapped. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my server. Okay, I'll go to this is the server where I have installed Docker. I'll copy this public IP, or I'll take a new cognito window followed by 8080. This is the port number which I'm using now. Okay, so it says that this is not secured. Let us proceed with this. Now you can see the output, right? So this is the public IP of my EC2 instance, and this is the port number that I have mapped. So by this, I have created a container. This is the running container, and I have mapped the port from 8080 to 80, and I am able to see the web page here. Even if I refresh, you can see this is the web page. So in this way, we can quickly deploy our applications on Docker containers, right? So this is one web application, like simple nginx web page, which I can show you in this demo by simply installing Docker, creating container, and deploying our application, right? By using the browser, we are able to use it. I'll even share this in the chat. If please confirm whether you are able to access this page or not. Just click on the link and you can just confirm it. Hope you are.
Kiran, they won't have access to the chat unless and until we add them to the Teams channel.
Okay, got it, right. Okay. So this is how we create a container and how we deploy our applications very quickly and very fast, right? Yes, Bhavya.
So we are downloading Docker and then we are creating a container,
Yes.
and then application is known as an image. So example, if Facebook is an image, can we say that?
See, Facebook is an application.
Yeah.
To deploy that application, we use images. Okay, let me answer your question. Let's say developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, they all are working on Facebook application, right? They all are working on Facebook application. They are working on different features. Now this code, whatever they are working, we call it as raw code. This code, we call it as a raw code. This is simple text. This is a simple text, and you cannot directly deploy that in the production environment. Let's say this is your production environment where end users are accessing this. Okay, these are end users. They are accessing this. Like you and me, we are accessing Facebook. Now this code cannot be directly deployed onto target. Now what we have to do then? The answer is, now we have to convert using a build tool. Okay, we build it, we call it as artifact. We call it as artifact. And we store that artifacts in some artifactory management like JFrog, or we can say Nexus. These are the tools again. These are central repositories, same like GitHub, where we store the code. So once it is built or converted to an executable, we store them. And by using this, we use Docker file. We write a Docker file and we convert that to a Docker image, and we pull that to a Docker hub, and then we use the Docker image. I think I'm not able to copy this. Okay. So we use the Docker hub and then push that into the production environment. Here is your Facebook application. Now from here, as a user like you and me, we are accessing from here production environment. But raw code cannot be directly pushed to the target, right? So in between we have many stages, and this is the reason we create CI/CD pipelines. CI/CD pipelines where we can automate the entire process. Hope this is clear to you. Are we good till here? All right. Thank you, Bhavya, for your confirmation. And yeah, so this is how we can deploy our applications onto the target platform and check the output like this. Okay, so we have deployed our Alpine image to our Nginx server so that we are able to see the output. Now let me quickly take you through the slides and discuss further concepts. And if you have any questions, you can stop me there and you can ask me. Okay. All right. So we are done with shell scripting, and just now we have seen the demo for Docker. We have taken one EC2 instance. We installed Docker. We created container and we deployed application onto the container, right? So using Docker, we can create and run containers. We can also use multi-container apps. In every application, there are different features like text feature is there, image feature is there, audio feature, video feature, like, share, and comment features are there. All these can be deployed in various containers using the Docker. Now, this is the process like flow. This is the website, this is the Docker image, this is the container, and all this, right? Now, this is the Docker architecture. As a user, we work with client, and this is the Docker host where we actually use this for creating containers and all. We also have local repositories to store the images, and we also have Docker hub where we centrally store the images. Now, ultimately, if we want to deploy any application, we need that image. Without image, we can't deploy it, right? Any image. Now, let's talk about Kubernetes. Let's say there are thousands of containers. Okay, there are thousands of containers, and all these containers can be easily managed by Kubernetes. Kubernetes, we call it as a container orchestration platform, which can easily manage thousands of containers at scale, right? We heard about Netflix. We heard about Amazon Prime. We heard about like Hotstar, many applications. All these are very, very powerful applications. There is no downtime. At a time, millions of customers can watch movies. Millions of customers can watch web series, like many things. This is possible with Kubernetes and Docker. Every platform is very, very powerful, and that is powerful because of using Kubernetes and Docker, right? So orchestrator is nothing but it's like a music guide. Okay, a music guide who is guiding the entire music artist. Now this is the Kubernetes architecture. We have master node, we have worker node. So like this, we distribute the workloads. Okay, so this is how we work with Kubernetes. Kubernetes is not a simple tool, it's an ocean, right? And lot many certifications are there. We will also see certifications as well here. Okay, now just a minute, let me go through this once. Yeah, we are almost done. Okay. Now, monitoring, once we deploy everything into the target environment, we go with Prometheus and Grafana, where we can manage and monitor with this kind of beautiful dashboards, where you can see all the metrics and how our applications are working, how the resources are utilized, and all this can be easily and efficiently managed by using the tools called Prometheus and Grafana. And we also have ELK stack to do the log analysis and all, right? So Prometheus and Grafana is going to provide you the visual data. So by looking at this, we can easily understand how our resources and application is performing. Now to talk about cloud platforms, we have AWS, Azure, and GCP. So learning any of the cloud is very, very important for a DevOps engineer. We must be aware of any cloud platform. I recommend to go with AWS, right? So we can, as a part of our DevOps and cloud course, we learn AWS and then we implement our workloads on AWS, right? Now, yeah. So this is the overall technical tools for a DevOps engineer, and we'll see the certifications like popular and demanding certifications to be a DevOps engineer. And we can write the certification which is from AWS. We can write AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional Certification, which is going to test you the DevOps skills. And we also can go with Azure DevOps. We also can go with GCP DevOps. These three are different. If you have AWS DevOps Engineer Professional, it doesn't mean that you are certified with GCP or Azure. All three are different. So popular one is AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional Certification. Apart from that, in Kubernetes, we can go with CKA, CKAD, CKS, HashiCorp, and DevSecOps certifications as well. So these are very, very trending certifications in the market to be a best DevOps engineer. All right. Now, yeah, this is about certifications. Any questions on certifications or any queries that you want to ask me? Almost we are done. We'll just go ahead with few slides and conclude. Any questions?
Yeah, no, nothing.
Right. Thank you. And to get a job as a DevOps engineer, sometimes we miss some things, like we don't well structure our resumes. Structuring our resume is very, very important. I have seen many resumes. I have gone through the CV analysis, and internally we have CV analysis sessions and all. Their resumes are created, but it's not properly formatted. Text is like somewhere we find the text with a different font, and somewhere we find the text with a different font, properly not aligned, no proper bullet points and all. Structuring your resume is very, very important. And always we need to highlight DevOps skills. This is very important. As a DevOps engineer, we always have to showcase our DevOps skills and certifications, what actually we know. Let's say I know about Jenkins, Maven, Docker, Kubernetes, and Prometheus, Grafana, AWS, and whatever the certifications I have to list it. And other than that, it's a very good practice to maintain a GitHub profile, GitHub portfolio, where we can showcase our projects. Whatever the projects that we have worked on, we have to properly showcase that in our GitHub profiles. Now, next thing is we should have good networking. Like if we are going with a LinkedIn, so in LinkedIn, we can build a very good network. We can connect with many DevOps engineers, many recruiters where we can easily find the job. Many people miss to do this. When we were taking the mock interviews and CV analysis sessions, I especially observed this, that they have LinkedIn profile, they just have created and they just left it as it is. They are not modifying, they are not updating their skills, and this is the very bad practice. So always we have to properly build our LinkedIn profile, and we have to update our profiles, and always create your accounts with the best portals which can give you good job updates. Now, live projects, whatever the projects that you have done, we have to mention that. And in some resumes, I observed that we are not properly mentioning the projects that we work on, including internships and all. If you are an experienced person, internships will not matter, but experience like live projects will matter. If you are a fresher, then we can easily go with the internships and all. Interview preparation, we have to go with technical as well as HR. So both matters a lot. So sometimes we might fail in showcasing our like behavioral skills. Okay, whatever they are asking, if you are not confident, if you are not able to recall, or if you are not able to properly present ourselves, that will also not help us in landing a high paying job. And technical skills, technical interview, this is very, very important, where they check our technical knowledge, skills and all. We have to focus on both. All right. So these are the resume and job search strategies which we generally follow in our DevOps and cloud courses which we generally deliver. Now, yeah, till here, are we good? Any queries further?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay. Now, let's quickly talk about the course that we generally teach in IT Talent Hub. So we have a DevOps and cloud course, which is going to span across like 2 to 3 months of time. And we have week batches and weekend batches. And these are the timings and work days like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And in weekdays, we have 11 to 1 and 6 to 8. And we have even weekend batches, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday and Sunday. And this is the fee structure and the payment structure that we can go ahead. And if you want to take a screenshot of this one, yeah, you can take the screenshot of this, or else I'll just move to the next slide. Okay, or else you can even connect with the our contact persons like Spox from sales. And we also have a job placement support, where we are going to go ahead with a CV analysis and real-time projects. We also execute some real-time CI/CD pipelines to gain good knowledge, and we have mock interview sessions, and where we also have technical assignments where we'll be assigning you some projects to work, and also we will work on the queries, and we'll also work on the related technologies. We have a dedicated teams who are taking care of the placements as well. When we are doing the live projects, at that time your CV analysis and in the back end, the placement assistance is also provided at the time of doing the live project. So parallelly, we are going to apply for jobs, and we will also attend the actual interviews. And this is the actual flow. First, we'll start with the training, then we will go with the live project, then we will check our level of understanding of various tools, then we will proceed with the job support. And this is the general flow of our job support, where many teams are working in the backend to support our participants who are learning our courses. And to enroll, yeah, you can go ahead with this details. You can directly visit our office, and these are the available courses other than DevOps and Cloud, right? So this is about the courses available and enrollment details. You can obviously be in touch with our Spox, and yeah, you can contact us. And finally, any questions? If you have any questions, yeah, please feel free to ask the questions.
I think the session was good, and yeah, no questions because we had a good comment on the things which we wanted to. So from
Okay.
me, no questions. Thank you.
Okay, so overall, is it beneficial to you, Bhavya?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Because
Because
overview of many tools were discussed, and also we have seen the integration of pipelines and all. Hope
yeah,
that helped you.
yeah,
Right.
it did definitely. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
what about Ola? Hope I am audible.
I can hear you.
Yeah, overall, how was the session? Like, are you able to follow it, or you mentioned
Yeah,
that you are from non-IT background?
correct.
I'm not sure, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I did a course,
right. So this is the
technical support.
webinar, so we can't discuss everything in detail from scratch. So in our course, which spans across multiple months, so there we can learn about various tools, various operating systems, and each and everything in detail and from scratch. So there we'll have a very healthy and very fruitful discussion there. Hope this is helpful to you. Yes, Ola? Okay. So, right. So that's it from my end for this webinar. If you have any questions, yeah, you can proceed with asking your questions, or else, yeah, that's it from my end.